Hey everyone, Anders here. I wanted to go over the latest gameplay reveal and information we have on Aion 2. We just had a developer update stream where they showcased mostly combat and character customization. I'll have gameplay in the background as we break down everything that was said, and I'll dive into some of the systems that were shown and what I was able to translate. First, they went over the game being on mobile. The game is going to be playable on both PC and mobile at launch, but they said Aion 2 is based around the PC platform. The mobile version would really only be viable for life skilling and special events and not grinding or doing dungeons. The UI, however, looks very mobile-esque, more so than Throne and Liberty in my opinion, and whether there is an option to lower the UI scaling or not, we're not really sure right now. I would definitely call the UI more mobile skewed than PC. They did also explicitly mention that there is no auto combat in the game whatsoever. Skills are also varied. You can have up to 12 skills chosen from a pool of 40. We didn't get to see the skill tree, but I imagine it works similar to Throne and Liberty skill system. Different skill branches to forge skills in a way to play a certain style of that class. They also confirmed there will be PvE and PvP sets of gear, so you'll want to farm one or the other, or both depending on what your focus is. Flying got a lot of attention with the developers explicitly stating that because wings have stats tied to them, they don't want any form of pay to win to be tied with flying. The way you get different wings and improve them is solely through in-game means. This does not mean the game has no pay to win, it just means that the wings themselves have no pay to win mechanic tied to them. They also mentioned flying in general is limited and unable to be done, for example, mid-combat, or if you're flying and get hit with a skill by an enemy, you'll be dismounted. The cash shop was shown partially and briefly, and from what I was able to translate, most of these items on these few tabs at least seem to be convenience and cosmetic in nature. There are dungeon entry keys, but they said these can be obtained in-game as well. There is an exchange for Kuna, which is the premium currency, but the exchange is a demo conversion, so no real data on that. We do know the marketplace or auction house uses Kina, which is the basic gold currency in the game. There will be a battle pass, as we see from the main menu translation. There are seasons, so likely cosmetics will be sold through limited sales, but it's just too early to know the full scope of monetization for the game. Seems like for now they are focusing on cosmetic and convenience items. In terms of content, there are solo PvE dungeons and Shugo minigames you can do. Daily dungeons that they explained were more of a Dynasty Warrior style gameplay. You clear very large waves of monsters, not supposed to be very difficult at all. There are Nightmare dungeons where boss fights will have multiple phases, and there will be time rankings, so I'm guessing similar to Throne and Liberty's Gate of Infinity rankings. Factions are split by server, meaning in the open world, you won't see enemy faction players. The way you engage with them is through Abyss and Rifts like in the original Aion, and they also mentioned another type of content called dynamic dungeons. At least that's the way I was able to translate what they were explaining. These dynamic dungeons randomly pop up on the map, and they work the same as normal dungeons, except when you go inside, other faction players will also be clearing. PvP will be active, and you'll have to do both PvE and PvP to complete the dungeon and get rewards. The two factions will also fight different bosses of their own. Elios will have their own set, and Asmodeans will have a different set of bosses. Normal dungeons will have two difficulties with different gear requirements. Some allow 1 to 4 players, others may allow 2 to 4, so it seems like you can solo most dungeons, but party play is based around a recommended 4-player party. You can queue up for matchmaking or look through the built-in party finder to find a new or in-progress group. Each dungeon requires a certain amount of cube energy to enter, though some have limits on how many clears you can do per day. In dungeons, they say you can skip elites to fight the final boss directly, but if you choose to take the time to defeat the elites, you'll get the extra rewards. Transcendence dungeons are time attack dungeons. You clear the floor of monsters within a certain time limit to be able to progress to the next floor. Subjugation dungeons is PvE content that has a set of special effects applied to monsters that make them more difficult to fight, and you're limited on how many revives you have as a party. There are also supposed to be raids coming that consist of 8-man parties. Gear that drops from dungeons can be acquired through reward chests and also from direct boss drops. Those drops you can roll for within your party to try your luck, or you can pass on it if you don't need it. Any item that you acquire this way can be identified through soul imprinting to unlock stat rolls for that piece of gear, and there are also engravings that can be applied to each piece. It also looks like you can extract the armor for glamour, but I'm not 100% on that function. I don't remember them mentioning it too much, though the hide helmet option was shown in game. Character customization was shown extensively and is honestly the most in-depth and good-looking character creator I've ever seen for an MMO. Freakishly highly detailed, just really well done. PvP content will be 1v1 and 4v4 arena. There's also an 8v8 mode that is escort based. You escort the NPC to the enemy base, all the while needing to stay close to that NPC and fighting off the enemy team. If you get wiped, the enemy team takes over the NPC movement and starts moving towards your base. The next developer update will be held next month and will focus more on PvP and showcasing the other classes. They will also show us how the mobile version will work and how much functionality it will have. They originally said it is best to think of the mobile version of the game as a companion app, so I'm guessing they'll showcase some of the life skilling elements the game has to offer in that next update. Release date is rumored to be in November of this year for Korea, next year for global. Publishing-wise, we are hopefully going to be seeing NC America take over instead of Amazon Game Studios, but nothing is confirmed. They also mentioned consoles will be getting the game released sometime after PC. That's all I have for you today. As we learn more about the game, I'll update you on the channel. Let me know what you think about the gameplay you saw today in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.